Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna talk about the update that will soon come into the live servers. So, first things first, we have new hero potential in terms of Alana, Valerie, and Avril. So I have majority of their awakens or exalted stuff in the Discord PTR news. So starting with Avril, the 35 potential has the ice wall, which will increase the, I suppose, the time or the seconds which it will be up. But majority of the time you're not really using this or would use this anywhere ever. So the only viable option to pick is the gifted mage, which will increase in her magic, which increases all of her damage, either the basic attack or even the blizzard and etc. So gifted mage is a must have. And the potential 50 has the Ice Nova, which is basically just a level up from what you had before. So if you have Ice Nova level 1, basically it provides just one level up, which would just, I don't know, this doesn't really seem that powerful. And then you have the Glacial Shard, which is pretty decent. It depends how you look at it. So this also acts just like one level up towards the ability, but it also adds quite a bit of damage and potentially can even add an additional Glacial Shard if you're using the, I suppose, the Drake set, because then you would have this probably at level 10 with the buff, then potential awaken, likely would add an additional one and also increase damage. So after your abilities, she would be able to do a lot more damage than previously. So me personally, I will be sticking with the gifted mage, the glacial shard, and eventually when I would reach the potential 70, you have a choice between Blizzard, which or rather, the damage area is expanded by 25%. Now, this means that if you're using Arcane 8 on Avril, she's gonna do or prog the Arcane 8 on more targets, which means a lot more damage and all that kind of stuff. But also, you have the Rapid Cast, which per each ability cast increases her attack speed and also increases her magic damage per cast. Now, this rapid cast is level 3, so this is not full stats which will be buffed. As far as I'm aware, some of these abilities do increase in the stats so long as the ability is leveled, like this passive one, which is the magic damage. So that could potentially increase to more magic per ability cast, maybe like 10%, maybe 12 or so, I'm not sure. But the thing is, the ability would grant damage, which would then buff literally everything, even Arcane 8 burn, or even the basic attack, even the blizzard damage. So in some cases, I suppose you may want the blizzard, which would then, I suppose, prog the Arcane 8, do some damage, etc. But if you're sort of facing a little bit stronger people, I'm not entirely sure how well or how good the Blizzard would be instead of just providing raw magic damage and reaching those either breaking points or just increasing her damage enough to just explode either the stall side or the enemy heroes. Now, depending which race I'm fighting or facing against, honestly, I don't really require the range, I just require additional damage, and this could potentially provide me that. So, moving towards Alana. So we have strategic retreats, increases troop injury and ability can be used. Cavalry, I suppose the aura buff, basically the same as all others, increases in some stats. The interesting ability at potential 50 is the Silverwing Radiance. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this does and whether it is just a level up. Let's just quickly check. 41 hit rate, bonus to a random. Oh, so So it adds 41% accuracy bonus to a random range troop, and to a melee troop, reduce damage taken by 18% for 7.5 seconds. So this is, I suppose, pretty decent, but it is kind of costly for something like this. And then we have called the cavalry, which is pretty useless. And then at potential 70, we have increasing the experience, which honestly, not entirely sure if this is any good whatsoever. The majority of the people already who go to Drake or Side, they already grinded their Elana to high level, and if you do reset her, you're gonna lose all of this bonus experience that you acquire through this. Like, you're not gonna get that experience that you grinded with this ability, since all the bonuses do kind of fall off, as far as I remember and as far as I know. Again, I could be mistaken, there could have been changes, but as far as I know, anything like bonus experience from wherever acquired, it doesn't transfer to the experience cards once you reset the hero, so do keep that in mind. And then we have the magic resist, but as you can see, it's only 8% increase on the 70 potential, which is a pretty friggin' huge cost for only 8%. Now, we don't know how good, how hard, how insane or incredible this could be, because losing Elana in a fight with enemy mages being alive usually bodes the point that majority of your frontline just dies in seconds. So 8% could make a difference, but for this kind of cost, it's kind of questionable. And then we have Valerie. So Flame Strike, pretty useless skill. We're not gonna talk about it. We have Lotus Fire as the 35 potential, which everyone will have to pick. Basically, this increases the chance of her shooting the Lotus Fire. Now, the chance was 25%, which is like 1/4. It becomes 35%, which is like a little bit less than 1/3 chances. So in some cases, you may not even want to or need to start with the, I suppose, fire dance, and instead just go for a stun, CC, and etc., since this chance is pretty friggin' decent. And the 50 potential, you have a choice between Rain of Fire, which again is friggin' useless, and then you have Crackling Flames. Now, this is also upgraded from 25% to 35%, which means you have a lot more chances to fire more Crackling Flames. So you have 10 chances with a chance of 1/4 or whatever, like 25%, to fire more flares. And with the Exalted, you have 35 chance to fire. So you're gonna see more of those flares arcing off, doing damage to a lot of people, and etc. And even clicking Fire Dance as Valerie's first ability, or your first ability, with this one would increase incredible amounts of damage. Now, the reason for that being is, depending what you have on her equipment, items, masteries, etc., she's gonna be able to reach a lot of enemies, and these flares splitting off and doing a lot of area damage is going to be just friggin' incredible, like insane. Majority of the time I see like from 4 to like 6 crackling flames with like a level 10, level 9 of this. And like with this one, you're gonna likely see from like 5 to 8, well, not 5 to 8, more like from 4 to like 7 or so, majority of the time firing, which is, I suppose, pretty freaking huge. So yeah, that is pretty good. And then we have the 70 potential in terms of burning, which would increase in the amount of time the burning lasts, and also just like a level up to the, I suppose, resistance reduce. So, and I think level 9 ability, it's 20% or 25. Let's just quickly check. 25 at level 9. At level 10, it's 30, but you likely would need the Drake set, which isn't that good. So depending what you're building on her, likely you can have this at 35%, but it's not really that good. So the other choice is the Fire Dance, and what we see here is increasing her movement speed and casting speed by a pretty huge amount, and increasing her magic damage by 30%. Now this could actually break her, like increasing even more damage versus units who already have a lot of magic resistance reduced, and also all the buffs on the field that you have. This can be pretty friggin' incredible. Now I'm not sure which one I will be raising first, whether Valerie or Avril, but I know both of them will be instantly 50 potential. Just that I still will have to check how both of them are performing to which one I will be upgrading further. So, going towards the other updates that we are gonna have. So, a lot of the army has been updated. So basically, archers, or rather human archers, were buffed in terms of their composite bow ability. Cooldowns changed from 10 and 5 seconds to 9 and 4. Also, the dire archers increased in the physical damage reduction, or physical damage taken rather. But I think what majority of the people would assume, or etc., it kind of reduces the physical resistance reduction, like mages reduce magic resistance reduction. This kind of like changes a little bit, or the way they worded it. I'm not sure if this is the correct wording, but it changed from 1.3% to 2.4%, which I believe can stack up 15 times, so to about like 36% chance, something like that, which is pretty friggin' good. And Zen Feather shots also increased in 5% chance to shoot 2 arrows. Now the other thing is Rakan. Rakan got a friggin' huge, and I do mean a huge update. So the Rakan frontline increased in 20% HP. Now do keep in mind this is base HP. So without swapping the race, or rather let's just swap the race. You know what can happen. So the base HP part is, if one moment, if we click on the I suppose the clansman, we see the base health 88,000. So 20% base health, or HP, will be increased by 20%. So that goes to about, I don't know, like 106,000, 107 ish. And like 15,000, 16,000 HP would mean almost nothing if it's base. However, all of this value is affected by like hundreds and hundreds of those percentages, meaning that 15%, or rather 15,000% HP, will be, I don't know, like 400, 500, 600,000 HP. Like my Blade Master should easily reach like 4 million. That is how OP those clansman buffs are. So do keep in mind that Rakan may become meta after the patch in a couple of days. I'll probably give them a spin after the next like power prize fight event, when I can recruit them easier. Though they also have other updates. So base attack increased by 10% as well, so they do a little bit more damage. And their EA Jutsu feature modified. So provides extra damage reduction by 10%. I do believe, yeah. Yeah, basically it increased by 10% overall, with tech unlock 65 from 55. And then we have the archer HP increased by 10%, and their base attack by 20%. So same thing, like exactly same thing. If we go to the archers, we see 70,000 base attack. So if we raise that by 20%, that is gonna be 84,000. and that 20% is just gonna add like, I don't know, 600, like 700,000 archer attack. So even my like Rakan archers are going to be pretty friggin' insane in terms of what they're able to do, especially with stats like this, which is like almost 3 attacks per second, pretty decent accuracy. Without the research finished, they have a decent amount of crit rate, which would then turn to like 80% after the research is finished in like 1 month, maybe. And then like 350% critical damage, as well as I think like 60% physical damage done from the Covenant or so. So essentially, this update kind of breaks the Rakan race in terms of what formation I may be able to do or have. So yeah, that is pretty friggin' incredible. So they also changed the Zen bandits, which were useless for majority of the time. Now, piercing arrows are replaced with blinding arrows, which does 280% damage to the current target and reduced piercing damage to targets farther away at the front. After drinking ale, heading blinding arrows reduce enemy accuracy. So I'm not entirely sure. Like, a lot of people tried to explain this. I personally didn't really understand it. So, um, you have a 35% chance to prog this arrow or what? Piercing arrows. Uh, One moment. Blinding arrows. After drinking nail, piercing arrows blinds the. So there is no damage anywhere. So basically, from 100% damage turns to 280 with these special arrows or something like that. So this is gonna have to be checked or something, but I think it really depends because the accuracy reduction doesn't really do that much, or shouldn't really do that much. So the dire Rakan archers still do a lot of area damage, and with Covenant, I think that level 30, 35 stuff would then do area damage in the backline. I'm not sure if it's that, but the wording would say it does it in the backline. So likely the dire archers would then still be the better ones. Then the liches kind of got a nerf, especially their frontline kind of reduced from the crit resist 8% and damage reduction 10% to 8 and 8, which I suppose is a slight nerf in damage reduction and stuff like that. Like 10%, because I think it stacks like 5 times. Yeah, I think it stacks like 5 times, so that's 10% damage reduction totally removed from them. Then they nerfed the Eternal Will 30 seconds into the match, which would remove 0.5 seconds after receiving a killing blow, which honestly I fought plenty of liches and people fought me for quite some time. If you do happen to kill a majority of their area damage with like their buffs and artifacts, their mages, they're not gonna be able to kill majority of your skeletons if your skeletons are alive. So if you're facing burst versus burst, you do happen to kill them, skeletons don't die, and it is a draw. So it is a nerf to a draw, as majority of the battle should be settled in the first like 30 seconds or almost. Then Sylvanis got a nerf because a lot of people kept using them for a little bit too long, I suppose, but the nerf isn't really huge, I suppose. It is just a slight nerf, reducing 5% attack scaling, I think. Yeah, just 5%. And then function optimizations to seasonal battlefield. So from what we understand, seasonal battlefield is literally Nightfire Monster and Rhino Rampage, which then kind of, I don't know, man, like so much wording for like basic event or whatever. Like, why would they need to even like write an essay in terms of like Rhino Rampage or Nightfire Monster. Basically, both of these events are just pretty basic, and like you get free stuff from them. Like Rhino Rampage is incredibly hard scaling to the point almost half or 75% of the people can't even pass it. But like I don't understand why you need an SE on this. It just not appearing like it's an event. If you make it not appear, just do the other event. Like they had this thing like 5 times, 6 times now. It's kind of pointless. And then of course, Nightfire Monster difficulty adjustments. So yeah, this is questionable. Well, Nightfire, sure, but the Rhino Rampage shouldn't actually increase in difficulty. This is fine, but I don't know. Kind of, beats the thing where every friggin' single week everything is buffed to the point that if you don't play 24/7 every single day, you fall behind so friggin' much that after a month you wouldn't even be able to get maximum rewards or something like that. These updates are becoming pretty insane, even for slide spenders or free to play to keep up. And then we have the encyclopedia entries. So this I have no idea, but I suppose this is like um, teaching new players something or them getting information or something like that, which could be useful. We're gonna see what it is a little bit later. So that is pretty much for the update. Honestly, they had some pretty decent stuff in there. Kind of do enjoy the potential of the mages, which then would want to make me stick to Lich, since majority of the Lich formation is just keeping those mages do like the entire damage and the skeleton surviving. But the I suppose Rakan's got a pretty huge buff that potentially I may even add Rakan archers into the mix, swap to Rakan, etc. I'm gonna try it out, not sure how well it will be, but eventually if it doesn't work out, I may just swap back. But that is pretty much it. The update is actually pretty cool. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That's pretty much it for the video. If you did enjoy, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.